Well, good evening, race fans. Our Sigma Sylvania Cup Series comes to you live from the fictional track of Papyrus Motorsports Park. This is a neat little track that came bundled in as DLC back in the day for the original under Papyrus's control of the game. Um, it's a very neat track. This one's actually revamped. It's a 2021 version of the track, but still continues to carry on all the quirks and excitement of the original one. And to no further ado, we get started with our lineup here tonight. And it's Atlee Weiss on the pole with Al Bunch alongside of him. Don't have to look very far to find the star talent at the front of the field here. Then you've got Nate Newman and Jacob Shangle, LFG Motorsports teammates Ewan Army and Chaz Chadwick, Trevor Walker and Tayden Berggren, Kellen Relic and Kara Shangle, Andre Stefan and Bella Fawn, Monty Shangle and Tyler Aspinall. Last race's winner, Tyler Landa, alongside Liz Shangle. Then you've got Tyler Shangle and his teammate, Lynn Farrell. John Roman, and in the 90, it is Dave Steele Jr. here tonight. Chris Harvey and Cam Jordan. Tim Cording and Dalton Scott, teammates starting side by side. Seems to be a trend we're seeing. Teammates alongside each other here all throughout the field. Nelson Chacon and Ant Me Person. Chris Hergeson and Brian DeBlanc. Alan Taylor and Guido Piano. Lewis Trost and James Reddick. Lucas Holmes and Tristan Reams, Jordan Walker and Justin Daytu, Daniel Pauls Jr. and Matthew Fastnot, Jack Ross and John Brinker, with James Robert at the tail end of the field here.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Seems that we've only got 41 cars in the field here tonight. One of our rookie one-off part-timers is not here today, Braden Varga. He's making a limited start so that he can be eligible for Rookie of the Year status in 2025. So with him absent from the field tonight, we are short one driver, but it's not going to be anything short of excitement here tonight, as all of these drivers are going to take to the very difficult to master, fun to drive road course super speedway that is Papyrus Motorsports Park. We get to the restart zone, green flag waves, and we're off and roaring here tonight. 59 laps around Papyrus. Should see some strategy pan out here today. And hopefully we can see a photo finish. I don't want to push our luck, but a dreamer can dream. It would make for a great time in the season to get one of those exciting finishes to break out. Got Atlee Weiss off to the early lead here. Al Bunch settles into second. Nate Newman in third. Then you've got Wood Army, Jacob Shangle, Chaz Chadwick, and the racing getting a little bit feisty here in the mid-pack to top 10. Kellen Relic making a move on Stefan. Potentially to get into the top 10 here, it looks like. Currently, Kellen runs 12th, Andre Stefan 11th, and Monty Shangle in 10th. Trevor Walker in that number 22 Pepsi Ford Mustang. It's an impressive start for him. He has struggled in his rookie campaign here on the Cup side of things. Yeah, Al Bunch went to the lead already, taking it away from Atlee Weiss. The one thing for certain here, Atlee has help in the form of a teammate right there behind him. Al Bunch, on the other hand, his teammate back in 12th, so it's going to take a while before Kellen can catch up and help his teammate fight for the win here today. Early assessment, fastest lap went to Ewan Army within the first lap there. He's in the top 5, so obviously he's got a fast car and he's trying to do something with it. Nate's trying to ruffle his boss man's feathers there a little bit, it looked like. Wanted to try and take the spot, but Atlee closed the door on him. It's like, nah, it's too soon to be making those kind of moves. And here we go, pass for the lead. Atlee going low on Al Bunch. Unfortunately now, Al is going to have the advantage with Atlee at the disadvantage with this right-hander. But eventually it's going to go back to the advantage Atlee can have if he gets on the left side here with the left-hand turn. Now y'all can see why this track is hard to master. You're really running it like a super speedway, but at the same time, you have a lot of elements of that road course strategy unfolding too. So ooh, Taden Berggren catching up to the top 5. 43 at Taden Berggren jumps from 7th almost into the top 5. He's having to duke it out with What Army. I called it on our social media feed earlier today that I feel it in the air that there's going to be a big finish on the line here at Papyrus. And the way things are kind of materializing here, it could get interesting. Well, Atlee's back to the lead now. Al Bunch in second. Looks like he'll be under attack by Jacob Shangle in the 64. And Nate Newman running in 4th. Jacob going low. A lot of juking as Nate Newman goes low. Al Bunch takes position. Atlee hung out high to dry. He's going to drop a couple spots here. See, you gotta imagine, setup is a nightmare for this track. Because so many car setups require you to set it up to be, you know, really good in the turns, really good on straight line speed. But what do you do when you've got a road course that you turn left and right, and max speed, they're getting up to nearly 190 miles an hour on the fastest parts of this track here. 190, 195. Actually, blow that out of the water. They're getting up to 200 plus miles an hour here. That sweeping left-hand turn right to the start-finish line is where the money can be made here today. 212 miles an hour. And Jacob Shangle now going to the lead on Al Bunch. We definitely have 4 cars all within the mix here at the front of the field. Jacob Shangle leads Al Bunch, Atlee Weiss, Nate Newman. Al Bunch and Atlee Weiss had swapped the lead about 4 times before Jacob Shangle stormed through to take the lead. In the meantime, You and What Army has surfaced back into the top 5. Kara Shangle in 6th. Trevor Walker impressively running 7th. Tayden Bergeron in 8th. Chaz Chadwick in 9th. And Monty Shangle running 10th. This race is going to go by in quite a hurry here today. 59 laps. They're running about a minute a lap here. So right at about an hour, a little bit over an hour. This race is going to be one of the quicker Cup races that we've had all year. Fastest lap actually belongs to Tyler Shangle right now. And he's all the way back in 18th. So even though he's running 18th, he's got some speed. Just needs to find a way to work his way through the traffic. Kellen Relic still struggling here to get through the field, running in 13th. Almost looks like they keep clipping that wall on the exit of that one turn. So Jacob's still holding the lead right now, that 64 W entry. He's led the most consecutive laps without losing the lead here. Looks like Al Bunch closing that gap, might be able to make a move. He's going to hold off until turn 1 as they come out of turn 1, going into turn 2 now. Al Bunch is going to give him a little bit of a push. Here's turn 3. Then turn 4, very, very wide sweeping turn here. And then right here is going to be turn 5. And yeah, they clipped the wall going into turn 5 there. Very lightly. It's not a terrible contact, but each time they clip that wall, it could add incremental damage every lap that it clips the wall. Here we go, a pass for position on the lead. Al Bunch makes the move. Nate Newman now up to 3rd as he got by Bossman in the number 19. Nate Newman fighting for 2nd. There we go. Nate Newman up to 2nd. Could we possibly see Nate Newman fighting for the lead here in a few moments? Well, Atlee gets by Nate, and now under attack, Jacob Shangle trying to make the move to get back up to second. Here comes You and What Army and Kara Shangle. So it's husband-wife running towards the front here tonight. Got to kind of wonder if that win at Iowa last week helped give that Toyota team some motivation. Kara has been struggling all season, and her brother Tyler Landa ended up getting that win at Iowa. And a lot of times, getting wins, it's just like momentum for an entire team. It's like wind under the sails. You see the whole team starting to get better. I mean, just look at Roush Fenway Keselowski and the success they've had. And all it takes is one domino to tip over to start a catalyst of many things to come. So perhaps Kara Shangle getting a good run here tonight, due in part to the team getting a win last week. Although not truly teammates, there is an alliance across the whole network of Shangle race teams out there. You've got Jacob Shangle Racing, obviously, as we watch the 64 of Jacob Shangle. Then you've got Monty Shangle Motorsports, Tyler Shangle Racing, and then Shangle Toyota Racing to give the full field of Shangle representation in the Sylvania Cup Series. So it's good to see, obviously, Jacob Shangle leading the way and wife Kara not too far behind him. Technical Alliance obviously gives everyone in the Shangle family tree an opportunity to follow each other's notepad, get better at each of these races. Got Monty Shangle there, back in 9th, and he knows his way around this track. He's found victory lane here before. So has Jacob Shangle, actually. 2016, Jacob's won here at Papyrus before. And I want to say go back one more year. That's what happened. Monty Shangle and Dale Jr. split the wins between each other in 2015. So I'm mistaken. Might not have a win here. But definitely a track that he's capable of winning. He can win at just about any track you throw him at. And obviously with a good run going here today, top 10 would be great. Top 5 even better. He's going to have his sights set on trying to win the race and better his position in the championship battle. Al Bunch and Atlee Weiss, this is a rivalry that's been going strong all year this year. You and What Army and actually, it's pretty much the whole world versus Atlee Weiss when it comes to. Well, some of them are friendly rival. Most of them are friendly rivalries, actually. Very few of them are aggressive or volatile rivalries. But Atlee being the defending champ, everyone's got their target fixed on him and trying to beat him every week on track. But Al Bunch comes in with the championship in the Busch Series from 2023, and he has carried so much momentum into 2024 that you wouldn't imagine that this guy is only on his sophomore season in the Cup Series. It seems like he's a well-grizzled veteran in just 1 year of competition under his belt. 5 wins to his name. He should have had nearly 8 wins in this early 15-race stretch. And it was just bad luck, wrong place, wrong time, often out of the lead, too. He'd be led most laps and get caught up in a wreck or something of similar manner. The rest of the field has allowed this, pretty much kept this points battle wide open. Because if Al Bunch would have won all 8 of those races as he was looking like he would have, he'd be kind of cruising away with a huge points lead. Twice now, Jacob has gone up to the lead and continued to hold it for consecutive laps here. So that 64 definitely a little bit on the stronger side than the rest of these leaders. But once you get the draft involved, you're kind of a sitting duck in that lead. So Atlee closing back up, closing the gap on the 64. He's trying to make a move to get back into the lead here. Looks like first round of pit stops here on lap 19 as Al Bunch dips down. That will cut this into at least a 2-stopper, as the next pit stop would come at around lap 40. Al Bunch does the undercut here, so we'll see if that affects the running order after pit stops. There we go. I found back in 2018, Monty Shangle did win here at Papyrus. So I thought I remembered right. I did. I remembered right after all. So currently, Jacob Shangle taking the long overcut here, staying out later and later. He's going to stretch it 2 laps longer than the rest of the folks that just pitted on lap 19 and 20. Al Bunch rejoins the track right in front of Jacob Shangle here, right on the tail end of the lead lap. He's going to go a lap down briefly here. The advantage, though, is he will get to have a little bit of a draft with the 64 to help give him a boost while he is trying to get caught back up to speed. So many of these drivers having to make repairs to the right side of their car. It looks like everyone's going to have to spend a little bit longer on pit road. It's one of those situations that if they clip the wall, it considers it to be moderate to severe damage. And the key part is even our leader, Jacob Shangle, is going to have to sit on pit road for just as long. So it's going to turn into who has managed to mitigate or eliminate the amount of damage that they sustain on their vehicle. And it looks like Atlee Weiss is going to come back out with a good running order here. And maybe Chaz Chadwick and Trevor Walker. There you go, clipping that wall again, continuing to add damage to the car. Well, seems like Jacob Shangle is going to manage to keep most of the position that he lost on pit stop here. But your running order has gotten shook up a little bit. As you see, John Roman right there behind Jacob. Trevor Walker now in the mix. Tyler Landa. And even Tim Courting. Once they get past the start-finish line, we'll see where they truly shake out here. And absolutely everyone else on pit road managing to fix the damage. And we'll see where they shake out. Dang, Nate Newman stayed out a long time. He stayed out until lap 23, which means he can push it to lap 46 with those numbers. And it doesn't look like it's going to be good enough for him to keep the lead. But it's going to be a big enough move to keep him in the fight here. Plus, put into perspective, he's got fresher tires now that he waited as late as he could to pit. Once those tires get up to speed, he's going to have no problem hanging with these leaders. Everyone flying around on the outside here gets by Nate Newman, who's struggling to get up to speed just a little bit. Wow, John Roman, now your new leader here on lap 24. Yep, there you go. From 11th to 1st, John Roman leads the race now. At the end of the season, John Roman, he's going to be hanging up the helmet in the Sylvania Cup Series. Citing that getting that crown jewel win this year at the Daytona 500 pretty much cemented he feels confident and comfortable with calling it a career here in the Sylvania Cup Series. So in the Sigma Cup Series for 2025, there will be another spot open for some young talent waiting to get into the series. Gotta imagine that John Boy wants to get a couple more wins before this season's all said and done. Be nice to tamp your overall win record just a little bit in your final season. So since the round of green flag pit stops, looks like big gainer Tyler Shangle now up into the top 5. Tim Cording made some big moves to get up into the top 10. Taden Bergeron consistently managing a top 10 run here today. Dang, biggest loser, Al Bunch, who went from pretty much fighting for the lead here, shuffled all the way back to 15th. So the super undercut did not work. He pit so early that now that he pitted that early, his tires are wore out. He managed to lose the draft for a longer period of time, and that shuffled him back to 15th here. So strategies sometimes bite you in the butt. Might be down, but he's not out. He still has a chance to fight his way through the traffic to get back up to the front. Holy cow, Tyler Landa goes to the lead here. Just on, coming off a win at Iowa and now leading here today at Papyrus. Could Tyler Landa potentially be trying to submit his name in the contender list for the championship battle? Now, come to think of it, the closest finish here came with Tyler Shangle. So 3 of the 5 Shangles have been to victory lane here at Papyrus. Monty, Tyler, and Jacob all know what it takes to win at this track. And how crazy is it that Jacob and Tyler are both up in the top 10 here? just lurking. You know, they're not putting up too much of their, not showing their poker face yet. Holding their cards close to their chest and waiting for the right opportunity to make the winning moves here tonight. But that's impressive with Tyler Landa leading the way right now. I did not see him striking it rich here today at Papyrus. It really does seem like that team is starting to get all the pieces in the right places. As they struggled at the start of the season, and it's looking a lot less of a struggle and a lot more like success. Yeah, Al Bunch starting to work his way back through the traffic. He was running 15th. He is currently up to 12th. Sandwiched right now by LFG Motorsports teammates What Army and Chadwick. Here goes Atlee for second. He's going to get the pass done, and he'll have his sights set on the Toyota Supra of Tyler Landa. And that 64 blows right back by Atlee. Often is the trend here in the Cup Series. We tend to see a long green flag run at the start of the races. And usually if there's any cautions, they come later in the race and tend to be one of those situations where cautions breed cautions. And this race pretty much setting up like every other plot that we've seen this season out of this Sylvania Cup Series. 30 laps strong, no cautions. Long green flag run here. Pit strategy kind of coming into play. And who knows, are we going to see a caution? And if we do, what kind of effects is it going to have on the field? Atlee trying to make the move here on Landa. Gives him a bit. Gets him a little bit aero happy there. Bumping on that left rear bumper. And it's going to be a drag race down to the start-finish line. This is going to look a lot like that photo finish we had here a couple years ago. Except he made Tyler Landa a little bit panicked there, and that 7 car put it up into the wall. He now drops back to 4th. 64 on the attack, gets the lead back, and John Roman follows suit right behind him. That puts two Fords up to 1-2. Al Bunch continuing to pick them off one by one. Looks like he's about up into the top 10 now. Currently 11th, but he's got 10th within his sights. Now the 22 sustained some damage, it looks like. So originally the 22 of Trevor Walker was up front here with the leaders. What exactly happens? 43 of Taden Berggren. Now the 20 of Nate Newman. Now maybe he gets sandwiched here. Does he get up into the outside wall? Ooh, he just overdrives it a little bit and kisses the wall. So that's going to be damage that'll need to be repaired on that next pit stop, which should see at least one more pit stop in this race for everyone. John Roman back to the lead, Tyler Landa in second, Atlee Weiss third, Jacob Shangle fourth. Well, now it is Atlee Weiss back to the lead here on lap 36 as we've got 23 laps remaining here tonight. We are slowly approaching that money window on who's going to be able to make the pit stops when they matter the most and who's going to come out on top. A lot of the usual suspects up towards the front when it comes to a Papyrus race like this. And some new faces, of course. Atlee Weiss not normally... Well, we've only seen him run here once or twice now. And he's amongst the best that usually run well at this racetrack in the mix here tonight. Al Bunch back into the top 10 with authority here. Tyler Landa dropping backwards, unfortunately. He went from leading to now sitting in about 15th. That is a rough turnaround there. There we go with yet another lead change as Jacob Shangle takes the lead away from Atlee Weiss. Alan Taylor now up to third. Teammate to John Roman in the 53 car, just a couple spots back there. Ewan What Army showing very visible damage on the right side of that car. I guess kind of like Darlington, we've got our own Papyrus stripe here at Papyrus. Usually earning your stripes is a good thing, but when you're racing, you don't want to be, it's something you don't want to do. You don't want to earn your stripes hitting the wall like you do at Darlington or Papyrus. So our second and final round of green flag pit stops underway here. And this will get everyone through all the way to the finish from here. Woofty, they are taking quite a while. Make their pit stops this time. It seems the damage that they keep hitting the wall, it keeps adding time to that pit stop. 19 of Atlee came in just a couple laps ago, and he's still sitting on pit road trying to get the damage repaired. Holy cow. There we finally have all of our takers down pit road. And it seems like everyone's going to be sitting on pit road for about 5 minutes apiece. This is untreaded territory. We have not seen something like this in Sylvania Cup history. We've never had the entire field sitting on pit road all at one time. This has never happened before. Never. This doesn't even compute. The game obviously thinks that they have extensive damage that needs repaired. No way. So Guido Piano was out there in 27th place. He comes down pit road. Damn. Still, none of our leaders have left pit road. This is a weird one, folks. There we go. Al Bunch leaves. Atlee, we still stuck here at the moment. It's a very weird feeling to have this eerie quietness. There's no cars moving except for Cam Jordan, who is multiple laps down. 5 laps down to be exact. Monty Shangle in 35th, who is 3 laps down. Andre Stefan, 3 laps down. Al Bunch, I want to say, is 2 laps down in 34th. Chris Harvey, 37th, 4 laps down. Guido Piano, 38th, 4 laps down. Tyler Shangle, 39th, 4 laps down. Matthew Fastnot, 40th, 4 laps down. Cam Jordan, 41st, 4 laps down. These are the last of your cars running right now. Unless anyone comes off pit road from damages repaired. But absolutely everyone left out there on track is multiple laps down. And the leader amongst that group would be Monty Shangle, who is 34th, 3 laps down. Evidently, he has minimized the damage that he's taken from that turn 5 wall slapper. Which I'm wondering if, for future reference on this track, if we maybe set the aggressiveness down a little bit, if maybe they won't hit that wall as hard. Finally, we got some people leaving pit road. There we go, there we go, there we go. Bella Fawn might very well be the big winner in all this, as she comes out in front of most of our contenders for the original win here tonight. Gotta imagine there's going to be a lot of cars trapped multiple laps down now, as there's still so many sitting on pit road here. All we can hope is that it's at least consistent on the amount of time they sit on pit road, and we could still potentially have all our big names fighting for the win by the end of this. There we go, Jacob's leaving. Now we need to wait for Nate Newman to leave. He was the original leader during this whole transition of green flag pit stops. At least it's consistent. I gotta give it that. Everyone coming back out on track right about where they would have been running had pit stops gone normal and as planned. Nate Newman definitely should be the next guy to come off pit road here. There we go. Going up, getting the tires changed. Well, it's a pit road glitch that I've never seen in action before. The crazy part is everyone has the same disadvantage. So even though it took them 15 minutes to get those repairs made, everyone comes back out running right about where they would have been if it wasn't 15 minutes long. That's just bizarre, man. Look at Monty Shangle now going for the lead here. He has raced all the way back from 3 laps down to taking over the lead from Nate Newman. Alan Taylor in 3rd. Liz Shangle in 4th. So MSM running 1st, 3rd, and 4th right now. And 5th with John Roman. Al Bunch in 7th. Big loser, Atlee Weiss, unfortunately losing a lot of ground here. Jacob Shangle gets shuffled out, but still within 10 seconds of the lead. He's just stuck behind slower traffic at the moment. 8 minutes, the duration of the pit stop for those folks. 8 minutes on pit road is an eternity. That is just extremely unusual. Monty Shangle Motorsports, all 4 of their drivers in the top 5. This could be a huge moment here tonight for Monty Shangle Motorsports. Well, that is money. If they were able to get all four in the top four, currently Nate Newman is the only one spoiling it. This really is, I'm thinking, what we've got for the finish here tonight. After everything's sorted out, we've got everyone on the lead lap, as amazingly enough that is. The weirdest transition of pit stops I've ever seen in my whole life. And we still somehow ended up with everyone on the lead lap. Talk about a strategy nightmare that these teams even were able to figure this out to get to this point. Monty Shangle Motorsports definitely would love to just have a 1, 2, 3, 4 for a brief moment in time so that they can say, so they could even just take that photograph and say, hey, look it, we had a 1 through 4 running order towards the end of a race. Nate Newman still spoiling the party here, running in fourth. Alan Taylor leading the way, Monty and Liz Shangle running second and third. John Roman in fifth, making the move on Nate Newman, not quite. Nate closes the door rapidly. They're going to have some lap traffic to deal with here. Liz making a move on Monty. Husband and wife there. Second and third. Now Nate Newman up to third. Could this be the day that Nate Newman breaks through victoriously? Or is it going to be a MSM stranglehold at the front of the field? I love when storylines like this come together. Look at Nate Newman going low on Liz. He's going to take second over with just about 10 laps to go. At this point, lap traffic is going to become a factor. With 10 laps to go, it's almost inevitable. The MSM stranglehold pretty well taken care of right now. But Al Bunch starting to surface to the top. Tim Cording in the top 10. Ewan What Army, Andre Stefan, even Tyler Aspinall. But we don't want to miss the moment at the front here. If it happens, when Nate Newman takes that lead, the crowd will go wild. This rookie has been a stud this season, putting on a very tremendous start of his career in the Cup Series. Didn't really, came out of nowhere. He got the call by the 2023 champion Atlee Weiss to come race for him. And hadn't even worked his way up the ladder. Actually kind of reminiscent of the boss man himself. Atlee was able to skip past Bridge to Cup and make it into Cup full-time before even winning a Bridge to Cup championship. Nate Newman was holding down fort in the truck series, and for the most part was struggling to get good finishes in the trucks. But Atlee saw the success and the talent that this racer from Australia has. When he ended up winning that All-Star event just last year, it kind of set forth a domino effect to get him in this Cup car ASAP. And as you can see, it's been paying off in droves for this number 20 of Nate Newman. Nate has put together a solid campaign up front, fighting for the points battle this season against Al Bunch and his team owner, Atlee Weiss. As they sit right now before the green flag wave tonight, Nate Newman was third in points, and he was only 66 points out from second place, Chaz Chadwick. Well, with Chadwick here, it looks like he's going to have a top 20 finish, so he ain't going to make up 66 points, but he's definitely going to take a big chunk out of it. And Nate Newman going to be flirting with taking over second in the point standings. Well, the MSM top 5 has gone to the wayside now as Al Bunch cracks into the top 5, passing by John Roman. Al Bunch now kicking it into overdrive in these closing laps, knowing that he's got to make up for lost time here. He's going to have to get by Monty, Liz, Nate Newman, and Alan Taylor. Sadly, it just wasn't meant to be to have a top 4 finish from a team. Would have been really cool if it could have panned out, but still, they could have 3 of the top 4. All 4 of them in the top 10 still as they run. That's going to be hard to erase, as John Roman right there behind Al Bunch and Monty Shangle. Al Bunch, your points leader, continuing to grab more and more points to keep padding that points lead that he's got. Nate Newman's taken a couple steps here to recover. He let the 67 get by, but could have been a strategic move to let Liz get by and Nate to kind of follow in the draft. You don't want to be the sucker leading the race, because often you'll get knocked out as a sitting duck from the lead. So Nate Newman waiting to make his move when it matters the most. It doesn't pay any money to lead lap 58. It's only going to pay the big bucks to lead lap 59 here tonight. And just somehow under the stars that align everything, we had drivers that took an 8-minute pit stop and still ended up with everyone on the lead lap. That it makes it hard for me to keep this track on the map, but it was consistent is the good part. So I can't really blame the track, because everyone has been making that same mistake. No one has mechanicaled out or wrecked out. And really the best of the best are surfacing to the front here. Al Bunch just had a little bit of adversity to show for it. Losing 8 minutes on pit road, while some of the others that were slower might have only had to spend about 6 or 7. And as long as they came back out, they're going to race for it at the finish. All in the meantime, Alan Taylor racking up some laps led here tonight. Has he found the secret formula to hold on to the lead and keep the drafters behind him at bay? It has been hard for these guys to make some moves here in the late running. Nate Newman makes a bold move on the 67. I think what happened there is Nate saw that yellow 81 in his rear view mirror and knew it was time to kick it into overdrive. So now Nate fixed on the 28. Believe it or not, lap traffic didn't really factor in all that much. Nate struggling a little bit here on the second half of this lap. Looks like he's going to let Al Bunch close up on the back bumper. Here we go. Nate with a great run here coming through the last set of turns as they're going to come across start-finish line and have 3 laps to go here tonight at Papyrus. Nate flirting with it. He's hunting for the lead. He's going to go in and drive it in deep just like he did on the 67 of Liz. Alan Taylor holding a little bit stronger on the outside, but it's all Nate Newman. Nate takes the lead with 3 laps to go. Now he's just got to hold off the impending stampede behind him. Was it too early to make that move, or did he make it at just the right time? Tyler Shangle, Motorsports running second, third. Back up into fourth again. So they could still have the entire top 5 if they're able to knock Al Bunch out of the top 5, which that'd be a tall order. Liz is getting by Al Bunch. Now it's just going to be Monty. If he gets up alongside Al Bunch, you'll have MSM running 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is almost a perfect imperfection because you had all 4 cars in the top 5. It just wasn't the winning spot at the most part. Now, not so quickly, though, as Alan Taylor takes back over the lead. Nate Newman gets shuffled back to third here. I kind of figured that move was too early to hold on to the win, but Nate not giving up here. We'll see another push before the final lap. Got to give mad credit to Alan Taylor for putting on such a good race here tonight, as well as John Roman with a great run going. They're going to start to close back up. It's going to be almost perfect scenario here as we'll get right to lap 59 with all the pieces in place for one grand pass to make it all happen. Nate getting back. Oh, the 53 closes the door on him, though. That might upset the apple cart for the 20 as Al Bunch right there on his back bumper. Nate seems to recover. Al Bunch still holding suit behind him. Ooh, but Nate goes high. That might not be preferred or ideal. We'll see, as he's going to have that inside line for this next turn. Al Bunch really hounding the back of the 20. Nate Newman needs to get situated here or else lose the position to Al Bunch. There we go. This is where the speed kicks in. Nate Newman hauling the mail right now. I think we're going to see him make a move on the 53. And lap traffic on the white flag, waving here at Papyrus. It's going to be one of these three. Nate Newman goes low. He's going to take the move on the 53. The 5 of Jordan Walker might be able to be used as a pick here if Nate Newman's lucky. Nate Newman needs to close the door on the 53 as quickly as he can so he can start finding ground on the 28. Nate's got quite a distance to close up on that 28. It might be all over. But Jordan Walker going considerably slower here. Alan Taylor getting held up by the 5. Is he going to hold in place? 5 caution already waving as it's going to be complete no matter what. At this point, Nate Newman not going to have enough speed to catch up to Alan Taylor. Unfortunately for Nate, it's a second place. It's going to be runner-up, but it's Alan Taylor getting the job done here today. Monty Shangle Motorsports gets their top 5 sweep, just with Nate Newman in second. So what happened to Tayden Berggren? 43 of Tayden. Last lap. White flag already waved. The 43. We made it all the way to the final lap before we actually had a wreck here tonight. 43 of Tayden looks like... Oh, Al Bunch! No way! A flat tire for Al Bunch, running in 4th place. Dude, what is with Al Bunch and these fluke crazies? He just gave up crud ton of points here on the last lap. He's going to be credited with pretty much near dead last. Wow. Unfortunately, Chadwick gets wound up in it. Trevor Walker gets tied up in it. The race is official. It's complete. It's over. Your winner, the 28 of Alan Taylor. Al Bunch gets knocked all the way back to 37th. Damn. So points aplenty for everyone that finished this race. Because Al Bunch suffered a flat tire on the last lap, taking out about 4 or 5 other contenders at the finish here. So 37th for Al Bunch. Everyone else finished on the lead lap in front of him. 36 cars on the lead lap. Monty Shangle Motorsports gets all 4 of their drivers in the top 5, which is a feat you might never see again. That in its own is so hard to do, especially with what few 4-car teams there even are in the Sylvania Cup Series. Alan Taylor caps off the MSM top 5 finish here of the team with John Roman in 3rd, Liz Shangle in 4th, and Monty Shangle in 5th. So when you have a day, you have a day. It's going to be a huge party at the MSM Garage tonight. That win is coming quickly for Nate Newman. It's just a matter of time before he gets the win. He did nothing wrong here tonight. He put that, put that number 20 in all the right places and just came up a little bit short. That's going to be huge because both of his contenders, the 18 of Chadwick and the 8 of the 81 of Al Bunch, both had problems at the end of the race. So he's going to get pretty much max points on his competition here tonight. I'm simply letting the pace car finish its one lap of extra pace here. Yeah, there's no need for it. The race is official. It's complete. It's in the books. Replay saved. Pace car is the last car on the track right now. But what about that? Monty Shangle Motorsports, all 4 of their drivers finish in top 5 here tonight. They had to work for it. They had to earn it there at the end because Al Bunch was trying to get a top 5. He was trying to get a win. But then Al Bunch had a flat tire that knocked him out. There was a lot going on at the finish of this one. Only one caution in the race, right on the last lap, which actually doesn't technically count as a caution because the white flag had already waved. So this race went caution-free, technically. By the game's books, it would probably be treated as an official caution at least. And yeah, so there you have it. The Papyrus 226 in the books now. And it was MSM domination. Tim Corden comes home 6th. Ewan Wood Army 7th. Lynn Farrell, Tyler Aspinall, and Bella Fawn.
Brake sensor went off.
And that is one of the quickest races in our Cup Series season this year. And we'll probably keep that track as it is for next season too, as it still kept the racing exciting. Throw out the goofy randomness of those long ass pit stops, and we still had a great finish, bunch of excitement, and kind of a surprise win at the end. So that rounds out yet another week of racing here in the Sigmaverse. And we'll be looking towards next week with the 3 races that we have. And things are going to start getting a little bit frantic here as I'll be going on vacation, and we're going to be trying to pump out as many races as possible. As for the rest of tonight, I plan on pumping out a bunch of extra paint schemes with this newfound extra time due in part to the extremely quick cup race that we just had. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Congrats to Alan Taylor on getting the win, and congrats to MSM for that big sweep of the top 5. Stay safe out there. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next stream.